The murder of Patrol Officer Daniel Philip Longstreet in 1997 is a tragic and compelling story that has captured the attention of many. This video delves into the life of Officer Longstreet, the circumstances surrounding his untimely death, the subsequent investigation, and the motive behind the crime. Through this detailed examination, we aim to honor his memory and shed light on the events that led to his murder. Daniel Philip Longstreet was born in 1957 and grew up with a strong sense of duty and service. He joined the United States Army and served as a staff sergeant during the Persian Gulf War. His military service was marked by dedication and bravery, qualities that he carried into his civilian life. After his military service, Longstreet transitioned to a career in law enforcement. He became one of the 2 full-time officers in the small town of Higginson, Arkansas, which had a population of just 300 people. His commitment to protecting and serving his community was evident in his daily work. Longstreet was a devoted family man, survived by his wife and 3 daughters. His family was a central part of his life, and he balanced his demanding job with his responsibilities at home. His oldest daughter has often reflected on his dedication and the impact of his loss on their family. In the early morning hours of March 14, 1997, Officer Longstreet was found shot to death in his patrol car. He was parked in a vacant lot when the suspect approached and shot him through the passenger's side window. The shots were heard by nearby residents, who rushed to the scene only to find Longstreet fatally wounded. Jerry Riley, a convenience store owner, and his wife Hazel were among the first to discover Longstreet's body. Their quick response and call to the authorities initiated the investigation into the murder. The investigation into the murder of Patrol Officer Daniel Longstreet began immediately after his body was discovered in his patrol car on March 14, 1997. The initial response involved securing the crime scene and gathering evidence. During the autopsy, a significant clue was found. Officer Longstreet had written a license plate number on his hand. This plate number was traced back to a man named Dale Miller, who revealed that he had lent the plates to Timothy Skins because his own plates had expired. This discovery quickly shifted the focus of the investigation to Skins, who had a known history with Officer Longstreet. The day after the murder, the police went to Justin's home. Justin's then-wife Amanda saw 2 police officers looking at the license plates on their vehicles. They told her that they were looking for Justin. Amanda told the police that Justin had left in the middle of the night, and that when she woke up around 5 a.m. on March 14th, he was gone. When she called him, he was at his friend Jackie's house. She said Justin was home by 7:30 a.m., and for a while, she was afraid that he killed Danny. Timothy Skins, a 27-year-old with a troubled past, became the prime suspect. Officer Longstreet had previously arrested Skins multiple times and was set to testify against him in an insurance fraud case. This provided a strong motive for Skins to silence Longstreet. When questioned, Skins claimed he had been working an overnight shift that ended at 8 a.m. on the day of the murder and had never left his workplace. However, this alibi began to unravel as investigators found inconsistencies and gathered more evidence. A breakthrough in the case came when a man named Justin Swain brought a Ruger Magnum .357 pistol to the police station, claiming it was the murder weapon. Swain stated that his friend Jess Fulgham had borrowed the gun. Jess, along with his wife Christy, who was Skins' sister, admitted that they had lent the gun to Skins. Jess revealed that they had picked up Skins in the early morning hours and drove past Officer Longstreet's patrol car. Skins then got out of the car and shot Longstreet through the passenger side window. After the murder, Skins buried the gun before returning it to Swain. With this new evidence, the police arrested Jess Fulgham and Christy Skins on March 18, 1997, during their interrogation. Jess and Christy provided detailed accounts of the events leading to the murder, implicating Timothy Skins as the shooter. Despite initially lawyering up and being released due to insufficient evidence, the mounting testimonies and physical evidence against the Skins solidified the case. The gun, covered in mud and found in a black case, was confirmed to be the murder weapon, further tying Skins to the crime. A few days after the murder, a man came into the police station with a new lead. He said he had overheard a man talking to another man about Danny's murder. He had apparently said that Danny would still be alive if he hadn't messed around with another man's wife. The man was described as being 6'3" to 6'4", slim, long black hair, and had been wearing a cowboy hat. The police looked into whether or not Danny was having an affair. They searched his computer, but couldn't find any proof that he ever had an affair. The second theory was that the real target was Chief Tom Bird. The patrol cars were all similar back then, so the police notified Chief Bird about this. He said that all he cared about was finding who killed Danny, who was also his friend. The motive behind the murder was rooted in an insurance fraud case. Officer Longstreet was a key witness in the case, and his testimony was crucial for the prosecution. Timothy Skins believed that by killing Longstreet, he could prevent the testimony and escape conviction. The desperation to avoid legal consequences led Skins to plan the murder. The investigation uncovered evidence of premeditation, including the acquisition of the weapon and the timing of the attack. The calculated nature of the crime added to the gravity of the charges against the Skins. The legal process for Timothy Skins, the primary suspect in Officer Daniel Longstreet's murder, took an unexpected turn on September 8, 1997. During what was supposed to be a preliminary arraignment, Skins unexpectedly pleaded guilty to capital murder. This sudden plea eliminated the need for a full trial, which would have likely involved detailed testimonies and arguments from both the prosecution and defense. The verdict in this case came swiftly due to Skins' guilty plea. Immediately following his plea, Skins was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. This sentence effectively closed the case without the need for jury deliberations or a protracted trial process. The quick resolution brought a measure of closure to the community and Officer Longstreet's family, though it left many questions about the trial process unanswered. Jess Fulgham, who was 17 years old at the time of the crime, played a significant role in the murder of Officer Daniel Longstreet. He admitted to picking up Timothy Skins and dropping him off near Officer Longstreet's patrol car on the night of the murder. For his involvement, Jess was charged with capital murder. Although the details of his trial are not provided, we know that he ultimately received a 30-year prison sentence for his role in the crime. Christy Skins, who was 18 years old and Timothy Skins' sister, was charged with hindering apprehension. She had reportedly told police that her brother Tim had bragged about getting rid of Officer Longstreet. Christy pleaded guilty to the charge of hindering apprehension. She was sentenced to approximately 6 years in prison for her part in the crime. Christy was pregnant at the time of the crime and didn't serve much time at all compared to the other defendants. In a heartfelt interview with the Daily Citizen Daniel Longstreet, the oldest daughter of the late Officer Daniel Longstreet, reflected on the profound impact her father's murder had on her family and the significance of the new television show highlighting his story. Daniel, who was only 13 years old when her father was killed, shared how the tragedy deeply affected her, her mother, and her two younger sisters. She recounted how they have preserved his memory, keeping every newspaper clipping from the week of his passing and often revisiting them with her daughter, Hannah, who is Officer Longstreet's first grandchild. Daniel expressed that her father would have loved to see his granddaughter grow up. The interview also touched on Daniel's participation in the television show Murder in the Heartland, which aired on Investigation Discovery. She emphasized the importance of the show in reminding the public that police officers are not just enforcers of the law, but also family members with loved ones who suffer immensely when they are taken away. By sharing her story, Daniel hoped to humanize the badge and highlight the personal sacrifices made by law enforcement officers and their families. Her reflections underscored the enduring pain of losing a loved one in the line of duty and the need for empathy and understanding towards those who serve and protect the community. The murder of Patrol Officer Daniel Philip Longstreet is a poignant story of dedication, tragedy, and justice. Through this detailed examination, we honor his memory and acknowledge the profound impact of his loss on his family, community, and fellow officers. The swift resolution of the case and the severe punishment of the perpetrator serve as a testament to the justice system's commitment to protecting those who serve and protect us.